Okay, so when we take this equation right here and we square both sides, we're gonna get, you know, e prime squared is -1, and which is right here, and we're gonna, since e little e, the capital E is 0, the cross terms in the middle get canceled on this and everything else, and so this guy squared is just simply minus a squared plus b squared. Okay. All right. So now that you have that, where we're going next? Okay. Let's see. Okay. So look at this. Again, if you draw now in the axis of little e and capital E, if you draw E prime, notice you draw this as a rectangular coordinate system, right? And then you notice that this height here is capital A, while this length right here is capital B. Okay. Now imagine that I'm looking again at the same picture, right? But imagine now that from the tip of E, I draw the possible light vectors. Well, from the tip of E, I can I wanted the possible light ones that cross this right here. So you notice that there's this one from the tip of E prime that crosses the line made by E, and this other one. Okay, so and when you now ask, okay, so where on this axis do those lines cross? You notice that they cross where this little distance is a minus b, or the distance from the origin to here is a plus b. Why is that? Because these lines right here, either one of them, right, is 45 degrees, and you notice that they have this length here being b. So therefore, this length this way must also be b. So then here, you had b this way, right? B this way, but you had a total of a, so a minus b. And here you had a total of a plus a little piece, that's b, so that's a plus b. Okay. So you got that much, that if you from the tip of E prime, you see the light signal and you see where it ends on the axis made by E, right? It's either going to end up there at a minus b or at a plus b. And what basically that means is this, that this a minus b and this a plus b are the redshift and blueshift factors that you're going to get. Okay, so also as from before, notice that a plus b equals 1 over a minus b. Why? That's because a plus b times a minus b, that's just, we saw up there, a squared, right, minus b squared equals 1. And therefore, you know, if a plus b times a minus b is 1, you know, just keep 1 on one side and move the other, let's say keep the a plus b on one side and move the a minus b to the bottom of the 1, and you got what I just said right there. Okay, let's see. Alright, so how is this happening in general? Well, here's the story. There's the basis represented by, there's the observer represented by that basis vector little e. This is the observer represented by the basis vector little e prime, right? Now here he's coming, right? The e prime guy is coming towards the e guy, right? Little e prime towards the little e guy. All right, and every 1 second of his clock, he's gonna send a signal. So he sends a signal here. Here he sends a signal, but he's just coincided with a guy, right? All right. And you know, had he sent signals from before, all at interval 1, the same story would have held. At the end of the day, this guy now, right, from what we saw up there, receives a signal at a minus b. Okay? So this guy sends it at 1, this guy sends it at a minus b. So if this 1 is the t that we had before, right, then the t prime is a minus b times 1. So the factor, this factor mu that I had before, I don't know where I had it, but anyways, that factor mu that I had before, that's just going to be a minus b. Okay. But now, when the guy passes the other guy, right, now when he sends light signals to go to the future, now he must send them like this. Okay, and now this guy, had he sent, had the guy, letter E prime, had he sent the signal right here, which we assume he does, right where they cross, and then another one later, 1 second later according to E prime's clock, then this guy here, little e guy, will receive it at a plus b. So notice that as it's coming towards him, the time interval is shorter, so that's going to be a blue shift. As he's headed away, the time interval is longer, so that's going to be a red shift. Okay. And that's basically the story. Now, I said here, what did I say here? If you want to trouble me with specifics, right? Some people, you know, they want, yeah, but what's that redshift factor? I want to know. Well, here's what it is. Remember that b over a, right, was the velocity, right, of little e prime with respect to e. So remember that b over a equals v is the velocity of little e prime with respect to e. So then b is equal to that velocity times a. That's what we got here. Okay. But remember from before that a squared minus b squared is 1. So let's plug in that b equals va here, and we're going to get this here. That a squared minus b squared, which is v squared a squared, is equal to 1. And therefore, moving things around, doing a little bit of algebra, what are we going to get? Let's see. We're going to get basically that a squared is equal to a times 1 minus v squared equals 1. So that means that a is equal to this right here. A is equal to 1 over the square root of 1 minus v squared. Okay, so let's go a little bit further here. So then a plus b is equal to a plus, again, b is va, so a plus va, I have right there, right? And we pull the a out, blah, 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 so we have that's equal to a times 1 plus v. Okay, but we know what a is, right, from up there. So let's write that. 1 plus v that we have on the top, and times a, that's just 1 plus v over the square root of 1 minus v squared. That's equal to 1 plus v over the square root of 1 plus v times 1 minus v, right? And then the top thing is really like the square root of 1 plus v squared, and then on the bottom you have one of those square root of 1 plus v, so you could cancel it out. So at the end of the day, you're going to end up with this. The square root of 1 plus v, 1 minus v. Okay? And that's going to be equal to a plus b. Okay? And that a plus b, by the way, is our mu, right? That's our redshift factor. And, which again, if you want to know exactly what it is, blah, blah, if you just look right here, you're going to know exactly, you know, what it is. Okay, let me move the picture down a little bit so you can see, but there, this picture right here. All right, so finally, one more thing. It's going to make your life easy and avoid you having to calculate again. And it's that if you want to find out who a minus v is, right? Notice that a minus b is just a reciprocal of a plus b. So you just grab this right here, you flip it over, and you got it. All right, so now you know both the blue shift, the red shift, and you know in which under which circumstances you get which one, the blue shift or the red shift. Okay, and by the way, what's the title of this whole thing? Let me see if I can zoom out here so you can see this better. The title of this whole thing is Relativistic Red and Blue Shift. Okay.